Hello, hello, hello. Testing audio. I think everything is nice. And hello. I'm late once again. And once again, I'm sorry. I will change that. I promise. I was getting myself some water because I need that to talk a lot. And today, oh wait a second, I can hear myself. I should mute this. And hello, Blum Blum. How are you doing? Hadn't have any stream yesterday. Instead, I was preparing for today's one. Today, I'm gonna make a procedural carpet material. And here is something like what I'm gonna do, but probably more complex. I was like testing the waters here. And before we do that, I also wanted to see this. So Bram, I'm not sure what is his last name, released a tool which is essentially the same thing as hotspot materials in Half-Life Alyx, which is basically one-click UVs. So you select parts of your mesh and push one button and it selects an appropriate subrect from a texture like this based on the scale and size of the part that you want to texture, and it applies this subrect to this part, which, as you can see, is very effective. This is completely automatic. No manual unwrapping here. This is great. I don't know how nobody ever thought of this before. This is so simple yet so effective. I've posted about it on Twitter before when I checked out the Half-Life Alyx. And now it is available for everyone in Blender, which is great. And I'm gonna check it out. Not right now probably, because I probably won't need it for my carpet, but I will definitely be using it later. Just opened eyes from sleep and bam, I'm on a stream. Great. That's how it should be. That's my goal here, to provide you with entertainment right as you wake up. Good morning. Okay. So what should we start with? Sorry, my nose is kind of runny. What should we start with? Well, we definitely should open Blender. Let me do that. Why is it not on my menu? Blum Blum, tell me if the sound is okay. I checked it, I think it's fine, like the loudness of the music. Your computer could manage to stream of Alyx. Kinda. I was being able to stream it in Discord, but it was kinda laggy. Sound is good. It seems like the delay is good too. You're replying pretty fast. Yeah, it should be fast. Also, I don't know if it is available on on mobile, but on PC you can open settings and choose advanced and enable low latency. Hello, non-binary friend. How are you doing? Nice, I have 2 viewers now. Great. Well, it says 3. I'm not sure if the third one is someone else or me. Alright. Cool. Let's start. So, I don't need all of that. Actually, I probably should make a new starting scene without all that stuff, because I delete it pretty much always all the time. What I do need is a plane, because, well, carpet is sort of planar. And I'm gonna base it very loosely on Iranian carpets. I'm not gonna be following like precise patterns those carpets use, because I probably wouldn't be able to reproduce them right now. But I'm gonna use like the overall design patterns, like the border, the medallion in the middle, the corners. Actually, I'm gonna open up the Iranian carpet on Wikipedia, just so I have some reference. Here we go. All right, so if you look at the carpets, let me open some example on Wikipedia. Well, here's like a schematic of carpet, sorry. There's a fly here. So as you can see, it's symmetrical in two planes. So it's like mirrored in x-axis, it's also mirrored in y-axis too. So what I could do is I could just make a quarter of this and then use the same UVs for all the other parts, so it will just copy that. And the way I would be doing this is I'm gonna be making this plane. I'm gonna make this quarter of this carpet on this plane, and then use mirror modifier to, well, mirror it across two axes. But if I want to use mirror modifier, then I will have to shift the geometry, because right now it mirrors across the center and it doesn't really do anything. Well, it does, but we don't see anything because it just flips onto itself. So what I should do is I should shift this geometry relative to the center of the object, so it would actually increase the size of the thing. But before I do that, I need to check which way should I do this, because I want the 0, 0 coordinate on the UV map, which is this one, to be a corner of the carpet, so I can make a what's it called? I forgot. Wait, it's on the image. I forget words sometimes, sorry. Border, of course, that wasn't hard. So I want the border to go here on the UV map, so that part of the plane should be the outwards part. And to do that, I'm gonna actually start making my shader. Was that hard? It's okay. Yeah, true. I agree. I often have to look them up. So let's start actually making our shader and then come back to the geometry. So to make a border like that, I will need to map distance from edge. So I want to know at each point how far I am from the edge of the carpet. And since I'm using UV00 as an origin point, then the distance from the edge would be the minimal value of either x or y axis. So like, for example, if I'm here, it's like 0.5 on x-axis and like 0.1 on y-axis. So the minimum one is y, 0.1, and it means it's 0.1 from the nearest edge. And here the other way is true. I'm 0.1 on x-axis, and I'm 0.1 units away from this edge. So to get that, I get my UV map. I need to separate the values. It gives me 3 values, but UVs only have 2 values, x and y. Well, u and v, but when we do separate x, y, z, it tags them as x and y. And now I use math to find the minimum of those 2 values. And if I map this right now onto, oh, doesn't work. I don't have node wrangler, node wrangler enabled, which I should, because it's a very useful add-on that you should have. Wait, let me save my preferences so I don't have to do that every time. Here we go. Okay, so now if I look at that, that's exactly what I want. It gives me black on the edge, and as I've moved from the edge, it gets wider and wider. And as you can see here, it handles the corner correctly. So if I now map this with color ramp, nope, not this one, color, oh no, I'm pressing on all the wrong buttons. Color, wait, something is wrong, that shouldn't be happening. Color, here we go. If I map it to some sort of color palette, it will give me this border pattern. I can make it more complex later. So right now I just want to look at this as my reference for the future border of the carpet. Let's go back to layout and see our thing. So now I know that I have to shift here and here. So the center of the mesh right now is precisely on the innermost point of the carpet. This will be the center of the carpet. So when I mirror it, it accurately creates those new parts of the carpet, and those are now flipped. I could also enable clipping, just because it's a nice option. If you don't know what clipping does, it prevents you from tearing apart the new mesh. If clipping is enabled, it will make sure that when you move stuff, it will stick the vertices that are on the mirror plane so that they don't get off that plane. So right now, I can change the shape and size of the carpet by scaling it. But as you can see, UVs are getting scaled too. They get stretched. They don't preserve the width of the border. And to fix that, I will have to remap the UVs. So I could do that by hand, by going into edit mode each time I change the size. But it's not very nice way to do this. I could actually do this automatically. There is a modifier called UV warp that allows us to scale and shift UVs, existing UVs, without remapping them. So if I change scale here, you can see that those UVs get stretched and squashed. And I can use that for my goal of fixing the width of this border. So I want to, what I want to do is I want to snap the UV map to the corner and make sure it's not stretched. Well, it will stretch anyway when I'm stretching the model, but I can cancel that stretching by applying the same scale again, but in reverse. So what I could do is I could take scale of the object in x-axis and make a driver from it. A driver is like a procedural value that could use different values to calculate the final one. So I could take the scale of the object and use it as a value somewhere else. And to do that, I right click on it and click copy as new driver. And next I can go to my modifiers tab, and on the X scale of UVs, it doesn't say X, but first one is X and second one is Y. I press right click and I press paste driver. So now it fixes the width. If we can check if I change the scale of the object on the x-axis, it adapts the scaling of UV map, but the offset is not correct right now. Like it's halfway there, and the reason it's halfway there is because we have UV center at 0.5 right now. It's in the middle of the UV map, so the middle of the UV map gets moved when I scale the object. And I wanted to snap not the middle of UV map, but this corner. And this corner, as I know, is 0, 0. It's the origin. So I just need to change this UV center to 0, 0. And that will snap the corner to the corner of the mesh. So now I have correct scaling on the x-axis, and to make it correct on the y-axis, I just need to do the same. I go to Object Transform, copy Y scaling as new driver, and paste it here. And here we go. Now I have procedurally generated, custom shaped carpet. Well, it's a very basic carpet for now, but at least we got the mirroring thing. Okay, so I think that's all with the mesh. Well, if we're gonna simulate the cloth falling and folding, we'll come back to this later, but right now I'm gonna switch to the material. So let's go to the shading tab and let's start doing some basic patterns. At least we have a place to sleep on now. True. Well, it doesn't look very soft right now, but we're gonna fix that. So the very basic thing I can do is I can pick the base colors for different parts of the carpet. Again, by using this color ramp here, I could choose some colors to start with. So let's make it, oops, wrong one. Let's make it dark red. Copy this here. I have a carpet sort of like this on the floor, so I'm gonna be looking at it sometimes just for some inspiration. Let's add some sort of darker color on the border. Maybe even a little bluish. And sort of beige, yellow, grayish here. Yeah, all right, that's looking nice. I'm gonna disable the overlays because I don't really need them here. I'm gonna work with one object, so I don't need all the highlights and 3D cursor. Just want to see the shader. So next thing that we want to do is define the corners and this central assembly here. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use noise with some threshold, and it will automatically copy itself to the corners because of the UV setup that I just did. So let's try to let's try to do that. I think I'm gonna create a Musgrave texture, just like this chunky noise. I don't need it to be very detailed. Actually, maybe I do. Well, I can change that later anyway. So again, right now, as you can see, it doesn't mirror itself because I'm not using the UV map. If I use the UV map, it will make this effect. It will tile the, it will fill the first quadrant that we had, and then it will copy this pattern to other quadrants. Quarters? Quadrants? What is a quadrant? It wasn't Rick and Morty, I remember. So already we can see some sort of like Rocher patterns. What was the name of the like psychological tests where you look at the patterns and you're trying to see something in them? Kind of looks like this. So I want to have some sort of large pattern here. So I probably want to also have a gradient. Let me think. If I want the corner to be filled and then lose this filling as we go outwards, there probably should be a gradient. And we should mix it with the noise. Let's try this. So I can make a gradient here by combining those two values. Rorschach. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's spelled. I need to combine those two values. Actually, if I just get the distance, I use vector math node and find the distance to 0, I will get this radial gradient. Then I can scale it. And also maybe color ramp it. Oops. Ah, does it again. Oh, because I'm not using the search, because I'm using the quick buttons. I should learn them actually, they are useful. Okay, so now I have this gradient. I could combine it with noise. Actually, I shouldn't use Musgrave here because it goes from -1 to 1. If I want to use overlay to combine it, it should be 0 to 1, and for that I will need to have noise texture. Doesn't really look like it goes from 0. But whatever, let's try. We can change it if it's wrong. Now let's use mix RGB node with the overlay blending mode to combine those two and see how it looks like. Doesn't look very good. Wait, overlay should... Did I mix the colors wrong? Okay, let's try to add threshold to it. Need a math node with less than option. Here you go. Yeah, not sure I like this. I could probably also stretch the gradient towards the center so it takes more space on the wide side of the carpet. So here, after I do the distance, I could also do multiplication. If I multiply to 111 with 111, then I will get the same picture. But if I change the scaling of one of the... it doesn't work. Why it doesn't? Oh, because I already found the distance, of course. I'm not working with the vector here. Actually, I don't need the vector math node here. It should be a regular math node, because this is not a vector, this is just a float value. It's just a number. So I don't need this. Did I break it? Oh, it's the wrong... Yeah, here we go. Okay, again. I should be doing this here. So multiplication, 111 is what I should be seeing without, like, it does nothing. If you multiply a vector by 111, it will literally does nothing. It will be the same vector. But if I change those numbers, I will change the scaling of this. So I want it to be stretched a little in this dimension. Let's go back here. Here we go. Right, that may be too much. Okay, so I don't like that it looks very smooth, because I want it to be like have very jagged edges. So I could probably go back to the Musgrave texture, because Musgrave texture I could change the lacunarity, and if I increase the detail it should make it more geometric, if I remember correctly. Maybe I don't. Looks like it's just changing the scale. Let's remap this. From -1 to 1 to 0 to 1. Yeah, that's better. Again, I could probably make a more complex formula here later. Maybe I should actually like write some. Maybe it shouldn't even be noise. Maybe it should be like Voronoi. The cells might give the bumpiness. Actually, let's try it. Let's create Voronoi texture. Use UV. Looks like this. Let's change it to 2D. Let's use this one. Okay, interesting. Not exactly what I wanted. What if I invert it? Here's something. Getting something. Consulting assistant, carpet PhD. I wish. Yeah, that's better. I like this. It gives like this bumps that are also kinda sharp. That's what I was going for. Maybe you can change the scale.
The number you have dialed cannot be reached, and that's okay.
So now I can just change those values to affect how the texture works. Yeah, that's the cool part about making procedural stuff. After you make the algorithm, you can just tweak the numbers and it will give you completely different results. I could also add offset to the noise. So if I don't just take UVs, but before that add something to it. Oh, it's 2D, of course. What if I make it 3D, actually? It's kind of worse.
And that's okay.
Yeah, let's probably stick to 2D. So I just need to shift in those two coordinates. Yeah, I had an idea that I could make like an animated carpet pattern. So like it looks like a carpet, but the patterns are shifting, which might be a nice surreal effect. Okay, let's add some coloring to it. Let's use the same dark color as here. And also we'll have to mask it so it only starts beyond the border. So I will again use this node with color ramp to add the to create the mask. Let's see, it should start here. I could copy the position. Here's the mask. So I need to multiply this with this to get the final shape of the corner. It's a mimic, but a creative one.
The number you have dialed
Oh yeah.
reached, and that's
Huh.
okay.
That's an interesting idea. It could be like, yeah, a mimic. Cool. Think about it. Okay, so I should multiply it. I could use mix RGB for that or just regular math. I'll use math. Here we go. So now I just need to mix this base color with some other color and use this as a mask. So let's create the mix RGB node. This will be the base color. This will be the mask. And as I said before, let's use this color again, like that. Actually, I probably should have like a small border of a different color. So to do that, I will need to have a different threshold here. So I could just duplicate this and make this a little bit smaller. Maybe a little bit larger. Again, I could change that later. So this smaller one will be the mask for the foreground color, which will be darker. Oh yeah, and it too needs to be multiplied with the mask. Gets a bit tangled. Probably have to put it into groups at some point, because I'm gonna have a load of nodes in this one. Actually, I could make more space for myself here. I don't need to have that big of the preview. Alright, so this one, the lower one, is for the darker color, and this one for the brighter color. So the brighter color should be first, because I'm gonna be putting darker color on top of the brighter color. So this goes as a factor here, and let's use something like this here. This goes here. Yeah, nice. I like it. Again, by changing this threshold, I can change the width of this outline. Actually, don't see the center medallion on my carpet because of the green screen, so I'm gonna use other references instead of that. Again, let's go to Wikipedia. I could probably use the same type of noise, but have the gradient go from the center and not from the sides, which is kind of tricky because the position of the center will depend on the size of the object. I didn't think about it. We have to solve this problem right now. So I could probably make like a parameter that I could manually change, which will mean where the center is. I could probably even add driver to it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Should probably do that. So, okay, we're gonna have sort of a vector, and I will need a mask which is pretty much the same one as this. But instead of measuring distance to 0, like we were doing here, I'll be measuring distance to this vector. This vector will be dependent on where our center is. So yeah, I could just place it by hand. I could probably automate it later. So this is our mask for the medallion. And I could be using actually the same noise. Let's see how it looks if I just overlay this with the same thing. Oops, wrong one. It's not that bad. Actually, since I'm using pretty much a copy of this, I could put it in the group right now, or maybe I could do that later. Yeah, I'll do that later. I'll refactor it later. Yeah, let's make the border here too. I don't actually need a mask for this one because it already is in the center. I could just manually control the width of this thing so it doesn't go over to the border. Yeah, probably won't do that. So what color should it be? Should it be dark too, or maybe it should be brighter? Let's look at some reference. Here the center medallion is the same color as the corners. It's not a lot of... Wait. It's the wrong article. There are no corners. Yeah, I think the center is generally the same color as the corners. Yeah. So I could actually then use the same mix RGB here to do that. So I should instead change the mask. So I have this mask for the corners. I have this mask for the center, and I could combine those two to have a final mask for this color. I can do that with the maximum node. So it will take those two values, and if at least one of them is white, the output will be white too. Let's use that as the factor and do the same for the second one. Nice. Ooh. It's kind of. I wish it had more variety here. Oh, here. I could just lower the contrast. Oh wait, that's the center. Shouldn't change that. Where's the scaling? No, wait, it's not the center. Huh. Oh, wait. If I change the scaling, center changes too. Okay, so right now it looked like a candy in a wrapper. No longer. Oh, sorry. No more candy. So the problem here is when I change the scale of this center mask, it also change where it samples the center. So instead of doing this, I should still measure the distance to 0, but before multiplying, I should subtract the center from the UV. That will make it scale independent because I'm subtracting before multiplying. And before that, I had this operation implicit after multiplication. So now, as you can see, when I change the scaling, the center doesn't shift. Oh, but I broke everything. Nice. Actually, that might be a bit too much outline. Jaws. Okay, so we're gonna make more like high frequency patterns a bit later. Right now I wanna switch to the to make it look like it actually is woven. I'm just here to shout out random words. I'm sorry. It's great. Random words are great. I don't like words because they're hard to remember. But when they're random, you don't need to remember them. You just say them. So I'm all for it. Please continue. Okay, so I was going to make it look like it's actually a woven thing. So I need to make like individual. I'm not sure what it's called actually. It's not strands because it's not like protrudes from the carpet. It's like goes back into it. So I'm not sure what's the right name for it. But the general idea is that I'm not gonna sample UVs, right, like I'm doing here, because UVs are continuous. So it gives me those very smooth curves that I can zoom in and they will always be smooth. Instead, I want like a pixelated effect here. So I should like combine, I should like group positions that are near each other together. Stitches? I don't think those are stitches. So, and then those groups would sample the same part of the texture, which is sort of like the LED effect worked. Like every position on every lamp there sampled the same part of the texture. That's why the whole LED was glowing with one color. I didn't have it like half of LED glows and half of it doesn't. So to do that, instead of using this UV map here, here, and here, I'm gonna create a Voronoi texture here too. I'm gonna create a Voronoi texture. Right. We'll be using UV, and I'm gonna scale down the randomness here so it looks more like a grid, and also make it really small. Maybe even smaller. I can change that later. So when I make a Voronoi texture, I not only get this distance option, but I also get individual random colors for each part, which I could use to slightly change the color of every... What do we call it? I don't know. Wait, maybe Wikipedia has the answer. Fibers. Let's call them fibers or fibers. Fibers, right? Oh no, I ran out of water. I will need to get more soon. Hey, so we have individual colors, but those are random. I need my own colors from the texture. And also we have position, which is a position of the center of the cell. And it looks like it does nothing, it's just position, but if you zoom in, we will see that the positions that are nearby are grouped. So each square here samples, gives us the position of the center of the cell. So I could use this position instead of this UV to sample our textures, and this will make them look pixelated. Let's see how it looks. Here we go. Very easy trick. You could use pretty much anything that gives you like, well, actually, I don't think anything besides Voronoi does that. You could also use like floor operation, and I did that when I was doing LEDs, sorry. But the reason I used Voronoi here is because I don't want it to be a perfect grid. I want it to be a little bit jagged. So I'm gonna increase the randomness just slightly. So does it start getting this occasional mismatches. And also the edge, as if you look at it, it's not as straight anymore. Actually, to see it better, I'm gonna make like an sort of an ambient occlusion effect, so that the center of the fiber would be brighter than the edge of it. And to do that, I need to find, for each point, I need to find how far it is from the center of this cell. So I have the center here, this position, and here's the position of the point itself. So if I subtract this, if I subtract, this and this, you can barely see it, but there's like a stripe pattern right now. So this vector is like the difference between those two. And if I wanted it to be circular, I could just use, again, distance node. And scale it so it's more visible, like that. Maybe it's a good idea. Let's see. But I wanted to make it rectangular. Maybe I won't. I made it rectangular on the yesterday's carpet, but maybe this will be cooler. Although it's kind of weird that we get... Oh, it's because our Voronoi is 3D, some of the center of the cells go up and down from the plane we're sampling, and they lose this black dot in the middle, because now we don't reach the center itself because it's slightly off the plane. And we don't want that. We want the centers to be on the plane, so when we invert it, all of the centers will be white. So I'm going to use 2D Voronoi instead. It will give us this pattern. So after that, I'm gonna invert. I could also scale this vector a little so that it will have different, like, it will be slightly darker in y-axis than in x-axis. Might make it look a little more like it's woven. So let's make a multiply. Again, 1, 1, 1 will do nothing. And if I change this, it will change the effect. Here we go. Okay, so all I have to do now is multiply this with the color that I had before. Let's reroute that. Multiply this by this. Here, now it looks more like a cup. Yeah, I will probably leave the circular shading here. Looks nice. I could even use bump to make it actually bumpy. But for that I need actual surface shader. Right now we have like a emissive shader, so we just see the color of it. If I create the principal BSDF, use it as the base color. Right now it's very flat. Let me create a lamp. Ooh, that's bright. Wait, that's not right. That's background. So right now it's very bright. It's very flat. Also, it's very smooth. So I'm going to increase the roughness. And I'm going to create a normal map from the same, from this. So we're going to use this as a height map. So dark parts will be lower and bright parts will be higher. And for that, we have a node called bump. Just put it in as height, and we get normal on the output. Here we go. It's very strong. Let's lower the string a little. Okay, I think it looks nice. Alright, let's go back to our pattern. Might have to refactor this a little. So let's see. So I could put that into group, and that will generate a pattern for either a corner or a center. So let's do that. Right click, group. So now it's like its own thing. And we'll accept this as an input. It's the center that we're using here. And the second input is the position that we're sampling from the Voronoi. Wait, what's the color? Where's this? Oh, yeah, that should be in the group too. Yeah, let's put that in the group too. Because it's part of this effect. Wait. Copy. Paste. Here we go. Okay, I believe it's... yeah, here we go. And this should be... this. Right? Yeah, the second one is the position. So I don't need the color anymore. I could delete it. Actually, can I rename them? Yeah, I can. Because right now it's kind of confusing. So this should be position. And this one is center. And it gives us the gradient that we can add threshold that to and use it as a mask. So I could delete all this now and use the same group. Whoops. Use the same group. Offset should be 0, 0 here. I mean center. And we'll just get those values. Should be working just right. Oh, I had like different ramps there. So maybe I should make that a parameter too somehow. So this is just a remap, right? So I could do the same with map range node. I'm going from 0 to 1 to like minus something to 3. It's like levels in Photoshop. So I should parameterize this too. So that will be group input. Let's make another vector. Call it... what should I call it? Oh, I'll call it levels. Oh, I didn't connect it. Okay, here we go. Oof. Wait, it should be the color. It's not as visual as the color ramp, but I don't think you can parameterize the color ramp, sadly. Wait, maybe I can. If I put it into a group of its own, would that help? No, I don't think so. Well, this is fine. I can work with that. So now if I want to change the noise itself, I need to go into that group and shift it right here. So if I want it to be less frequent, I can lower the scale. Something like this. Alright, I should probably add some more patterns, but first I'm gonna go get myself some water. I'll be right back. I'm back. It's a razor, not a carpet. It sort of looks like it, yeah. Blom, you're using weird emojis again. Wait, it should be an image, right? Let's make another blob of color in the center here. I'm gonna use the same pattern as this one. Like that. With glasses. Do you see it? Do you see the image? In chat. Okay. Let's add another color mix here and use this mask. Actually, I'm just gonna pick this one. No. Yeah, I'm looking at the emojis and I don't see a robot with glasses. It's like a few of the Twitch robots, but none of them are with glasses. I don't know. Only when I'm choosing it. That is weird. Twitch is weird. Okay, so let's add some black glasses. Well, yeah, sunglasses, you mean. I want to add some high frequency detail, you know, like the floral patterns, but again, I'm not gonna be able to make floral patterns right now. Those are kind of complicated. So instead, I'm gonna cheat a little and do this. So if I make again a Musgrave texture and use ridged multifractal option, let's pick this position here and detail should be 1. So it kind of has like some properties of those patterns, like intertwining lines. Actually, if I go 4D, it will be a little more interesting, I think. So let me try to again, if I add threshold to it, I'll get this. Should probably be smaller. Might also need to make my fibers smaller. I think they're too large now. Yeah, they're definitely too large. So let's go here and change the scale to like this. Yeah. So I'm basically going to use that instead of the floral pattern. Again, I have to mask it out, and I can use this to decide where it should go. No, Blum Blum, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. So I could just use this as mask and like multiply it. Nice. Blum Blum has discovered emotes. Multiply. Yeah. So now it's only restricted to those corners. So I could, again, if I want to use the same color as here, I could combine those masks. Ooh, it gets really tangly here. No. Now you're just spamming, guys. I appreciate the activity in chat. Wait, it shouldn't be multiply, it should be maximum. So I could probably add some border here so it doesn't stick right to the edge. So yeah, I need the third one here. Oh no, it doesn't work. What did I break? Oh, sure. I'm using the wrong thing. Here we go. Oh, okay. To offset this, I'll need another color ramp. Like this. Yeah, nice. I like it. Maybe make it a little bit thicker. And it also should be in the center too. So again, the same way I did this, I should have another one of those. Have greater than, no, not greater than, maximum. this. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm doing the wrong thing. That should be before the multiplication. That should be the mask. So this is the mask. And this is the result of multiplication. Do you guys want to change the playlist? Oh, it's still the chill station. Huh. Interesting. Let's try... You want to switch to... wait. Synthwave. What about synthwave? Yeah, let's do this. Okay. No, chill station was a bit more chilly last time. I'm not sure what I like. I didn't listen to all those stations. It has ambient. Maybe you could try ambient. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, now I don't like this blob in the middle. Maybe it shouldn't be the same color. Okay, now there's a lot of values. Starting to get lost in them. Where did I scale pattern? Oh, here. This should be a parameter too. Let's make it 1. Yes, I mean, you choose the chill and it was good, so whatever you like seems to be a good choice. I like the chill, yeah, but maybe it should be more chilly. What I'm doing. Yeah, I'm renaming this. Okay, this should be scale. And it should go here. Oh no, I broke it. Question is, where is the center? long chat is back. The long chat? What do you mean? Maybe this color is too bright. Let's make it a little darker. Okay. Actually, if I want to make a looping animation, guess I could just use 2D. I don't know if it look very good. Let's try. So for it to loop, it has to like make a cycle. So usually what I would do is that I would sample the noise in like 2 dimensions, but move it in the 3rd and 4th dimension, so that you don't see the movement of the noise, you see that how it changes. But here, since we are restricted to 2D, because I think 3D doesn't look as good, I'll have to move into D2. So I could rotate it around some point. For example, if I wanted to last 100 frames, I could create a mapping. So here. Wait a sec. I want to see you finish the carpet, but I also got to go pretty soon. Hope you post the finished animated carpet on your Twitter. Sure, I might actually continue doing it tomorrow, because I'm getting kind of tired, so I might stop soon too and continue the carpet tomorrow and finish it, and then I'll post it. So see, if I change the rotation, the pattern changes. Well, it rotates around some point, but if I rotate it exactly 360 degrees, it's the same. So I could map that to my frame, and that will create the looping pattern. So, sorry. If I make the combine XYZ node, and my Z would be the what's driving the rotation, I can add driver here and use my frame. And since I want the cycle to be 100 frames, I would have to divide it by 100. That will give me like a fraction of the time, fraction at the phase of the cycle, like from 0 to 1. 0 and 1s. Well, 0 and 1 is basically the same point on the cycle. And to map that onto the circle, since it's the rotation, I have to do that. I also need to multiply it by 2 pi, because the length of the circle is 2 pi of the unit circle. Here we go. So right now I'm at the frame 0. The pattern looks like this. If I go to the frame 100, it looks the same, but in between it does change. It does change. It does change quite a lot, actually. Might be too much. Does it rotate around this point? I wonder. Oh, I cannot preview it anymore. That's a shame. Yeah, I think it does. So the center rotates very fast. Yeah, that's the problem with using the same dimensions as the sampling, because if I rotate it in another dimension, I could pick the speed and it would not be in any way linked to how it looks. But here it is. So I either have to change the scale of the pattern or make the cycle longer. So if I make it 400 frames, it will be 4 times slow, which is still kind of fast. I don't know. Maybe I should use the 3D Voronoi after all. It was really fun. Thanks for today. Thank you. That was fun. It's my second stream and I'm enjoying it. I'm kind of tired, but I don't think I slept enough, so that might be the reason. I might play something today in the evening. I'm not sure. Hope you come to a solution that makes sense and makes you happy. Thank you. I hope you do that too. With whatever you're looking for. Third what? Third, oh, you mean third stream? No, I mean the second Blender stream. I don't count the gaming ones. Those are just for fun. Okay, so then I don't have to rotate in the Z. I have to rotate in Y. Oh, I haven't saved it yet. Risky. Should do that. Oh, I don't like how it looks. I do not like how it looks. Changes too abruptly. It doesn't flow. Why I never seen this before? moving carpets. I'll be honest, I never seen one too. Carpet with changes with the music. Oh. Yeah, I didn't notice it changes with the music. Maybe it's fine. I don't like the quickly appearing and disappearing parts. Oh, you mean like a visualizer? That would be cool. I don't think you can do it in Blender. But yeah, that would be neat. A carpet visualizer. I guess the sides are okay, but I don't like how the center behaves. We should make it bigger. Oh, 4D looks smoother. Interesting. Let's also animate this pattern too. This one, yeah. So again, I will have to use mapping and rotate it. Wait. Oh, yeah, it barely changes near the 0 because, well, it rotates around the 0, so that's basically the same. If I offset it, no, like this. Oh no, I guess it applies the transform location before the rotation, so that should be 2. Right? Yeah. Let's create a driver. Again, pi multiplied by 2 multiplied by frame divided by 400. Oh no. Oh no. Should be X. That's too fast. It's way too fast. could probably figure out how to rotate the plane without, like, move the plane without rotating it. So that wouldn't be a rotation, that would be just a shift based on the circular motion. That would make the changes less drastic, and I would be able to control the radius of rotation independent of like how fast the thing changes. Yeah, no, actually, I should probably stop because I'm not feeling like my cognitive abilities are at the height right now. I might need to have a lunch. But what was it, like almost 2 hours? Not a very long stream, but I think we did a nice job here with this carpet. And I'm gonna continue doing it. Actually, maybe I should just do it in the evening. What do you think, Blom Blom? Why wait until tomorrow if I can just do it today? Will you be here in the evening? Okay, Blom Blom, are you still here? Have you left? Nice to hear you can. Yeah, what do you think it would be a good time? 6 p.m. probably. From 8 till 9. Well, if I start at 6, we'll be able to join. Good. All right. Yeah, let's do 6 p.m. then. Today, I'm gonna to continue. Nice. 6 p.m. it is then. All right. Thank you for being here. That was fun. We're gonna finish this carpet, I hope, today. Until then, see ya. Oh no, it doesn't work. I should get better at this. I should turn off studio. It's hard. It's hard being a streamer. Okay, here we go. Should have been like this. And until then, bye. See ya.